Hi folks, this is Gabe at Security.org, and today I would love to talk to you about Encrypt.me VPN, or Encrypt Me as we will go on saying it today. Now, Encrypt Me VPN has a great name. They've got encryption in, the name itself implies a level of security, implies a level of privacy, but is that really true? So let's go ahead and check it out today in our review of Encrypt Me VPN. Now, right off the bat, I want to talk to you about just the pros and cons so you get a quick look at what it's bringing to the table, Encrypt Me as a VPN service. Then we're going to talk about just some of the foundational elements of what makes a VPN a VPN. So we're going to talk about protocols, encryption, where the company's based, things of that nature. Then I'm going to talk about the core features, which is what we've come to expect from VPNs out on the market today. Then we need to do some testing, talk about the DNS, web leak, speed testing, speed eraser, all that good stuff. And finally, I'm going to dive into a mobile application walkthrough so you get an idea of what it's like to actually use Encrypt Me. And finally, I'm just gonna, give you a recap of what our experience was like using this VPN service. So without further ado, here are some pros and cons. Now, the first thing one might hit when they talking about Encrypt Me is the fact that they have to pay for it. Now, when you're paying for it, it's actually one of the better deals out on the market today. You're going to check the link in the description to see exactly what's available when you watch this video. But generally speaking, they have a lot of flexible options. They have family plans, things of that nature to make sure you get the right thing for you. Now, beyond that, you can have it on an unlimited number of devices. So you don't have to worry about really picking and choosing where you're going to use your account with, because you can put it on everything. The MacBook, the Windows, the PS4, the router, all that stuff, you can use Encrypt Me, no issues. And using it, especially with your mobile device, is going to be an enjoyable experience because it has highly rated mobile applications. So those are a couple of things you're going to love about Encrypt Me. Now, when it comes to things we don't love so much about Encrypt Me, it's going to have to be the fact that you can't really watch Stranger Things with Encrypt Me on. So some of your streaming services are not going to work with Encrypt Me. It's also not particularly great when it comes to torrenting. It's just not what I would use if that is a fundamental piece of your online life. So if that's something for you, you may want to look somewhere else. Now let's talk about what it means to use Encrypt Me. Now, it was founded as Cloak VPN in 2011 and has offices all over the United States along with Mexico. So yes, right off the bat, it is a part of the Five Eyes Alliance in terms of where it's founded. So you have to keep that in mind when you're using Encrypt Me. But they also have a ton of servers in about 75 countries. So in a lot of places that you're going to be in the world, Encrypt Me will have a server right beside you. So that's always useful to have in terms of proximity and in terms of just being able to go to other spots. Now, when it comes to encryption with Encrypt Me, they do pretty well. They have the state-of-the-art 256-bit AES encryption, so you're good to go in that sense. When it comes to protocols, you're using OpenVPN, which of course gives you access to a number of other configurations. Of course, we would have loved to have seen WireGuard, one of the newer protocols, one of the faster protocols out there on the market today, but that is not yet the case with Encrypt Me. Now, the next thing we'd like to go over are the core features. Now, the first thing we're gonna look at is kill switch. And yes, there's a kill switch. Your data packets are safe. You're good to go when it comes to, something happening to the VPN and your stuff being exposed. Not gonna happen. Now, when it comes to split tunneling, our second feature, you're not gonna get full access to that. So if you wanna split tunnel, you might be out of luck depending on where you are and what you're doing. Next, we look at torrenting. And once again, torrenting with Encrypt Me is just not ideal. If that is really important to you, again, you don't want to look at Encrypt Me. That's just not what they're built for. Finally, when it comes to streaming services, Encrypt Me does not do a ton of unblocking. So if you're trying to get around something regionally or anything of that nature, Encrypt Me is probably not the VPN that you're going to want to go with. So keep that in mind. If you're really trying to capture, something that is on US Netflix, Encrypt Me, not the one. Let's talk about those tests. Now, I've taken a lot of tests in my life, the bar exam being a major one, and I want to just look at how they perform on tests. And yeah, when it comes to Encrypt Me, pass our WebRTC leak test, our DNS leak test, and let's dive into the speed test. So with Encrypt Me, I wanted to see how well it was going to perform in various locales around the world, if you will. But I always start by doing a test without any VPN attached just to see what my baseline is for that day. And so with Encrypt Me with no VPN, I had 234 megabits per second download speed and had 223 megabits per second upload speed. So pretty quick. I could definitely see what was going on. But then I was like, you know what? I need to also see when I'm also in New York, based through Encrypt Me's server, what kind of speed I would get, and I was not disappointed. I got 221 megabits per second download speed, so almost exactly what I got without a VPN, and I got 192 megabits per second upload speed. Now for Encrypt Me, when I did a European server, I decided to go with Talon. Now with Talon, I was able to get a download speed of 140 megabits per second. So pretty solid. You know, Estonia is kind of far away. And then for upload, I was able to get 83 megabits per second. So again, pretty quick, pretty fast speeds when it comes to Encrypt Me and, you know, these servers around the world. Now, the final test I did for Encrypt Me when it comes to speed is I did Johannesburg, because I like to do, you know, all the continents if possible. They don't have anything on Antarctica yet. I haven't seen that anywhere. But for Africa, I was able to get Johannesburg, and that was 139 megabits per second download speed, and I was able to get 72 megabits per second upload speed. So really not that bad. You know, I miss Joburg. It's a really fun place. So that's the speeds I was getting for Encrypt Me, just across the board, pretty solid speeds in that whole experience. All right, so let's jump into my experience on the Encrypt Me mobile application. So the first thing I have to note right off the bat that always confuses me about Encrypt Me when I use it again is the fact that you go into a location. So if I go into a location like, let's say, Japan, now it says currently selected Japan, and you're saying, oh, okay, that's great. But then you go to be in Japan and you're not there. And why is that? Because you seem, as you say, currently selected, you should be working. Even if you hit done after, it should work. But no, you actually have to go in and connect. And when you go and connect, that is what's actually going to send you to Japan. Now, it's just an extra step. It's just 2 steps. 1 + 1, 2, not that much. But because it's so different than everything else I'm accustomed to, I honestly make the mistake far too often. Maybe this is, you know, my problem of thinking I'm in a certain private tunnel, and then I go and I'm not, because I haven't gone back to hit that other button. And that is different than every other VPN that I've seen out in the market, I'm pretty sure. So that's my one thing with Encrypt Me. When right off the bat, always bothers me about the mobile application. That being said, what I love about the mobile application, so let's go back, it's a transporter. And I think that's maybe like a Star Trek reference. I have a little Enterprise. I'll bring this Enterprise down. I love Star Trek. I mean, it's just great. But anyway, I digress. So let's go ahead and see what other experiences like. I can easily go in, jump into, you know, Czechia. I can jump into Hungary. I can jump into Iceland. And remember, I have to go back, unencrypt for a second. So now I'm in Iceland. I imagine I'm in Reykjavik. So that's kind of how Encrypt Me works. You go down, you transport. It's pretty cool. South America. I can go to Argentina, go done, get out of here, go back. So overall, pretty straightforward experience with Encrypt Me. And if we go and look at our settings, you'll note that there's really not a lot else going on inside of here. So anyway, that's the experience that you're going to have with Encrypt Me. So remember, it's a 2-step process for joining any location, but overall, when you do get in there, it's fine, but I do think they should maybe rethink that basic functionality. In summary, Encrypt Me does have some things going for it, definitely, but in a lot of areas, it's really lacking, and it's going to be very dependent on the person. For me, example, I really want to be able to torrent easily. You know, torrenting is something I grew up doing. I'm used to doing it. So do I want to have that be like swimming through molasses? no, that's not for me. Now, in other areas, it's an adequate VPN, but you definitely want to survey the market, see what's out there, and see if Encrypt Me is actually the right VPN for you. All right, so that's my look at Encrypt Me VPN. I hope you appreciated today's video, that we answered some of your questions, that you know whether you want to go with it or you don't, or you maybe have more questions, and please leave those in the comments below. And once again, if you appreciated it, go ahead and give us a like, maybe even subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, make sure you're getting all of our updates each week on digital and physical security. My name is Gabe. This is Security.org. Be secure.